Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and we are imminently going to be featuring Are You My Mama as the new Sudoku hunt for our patron reward for February the 1st, 4 p.m. That is the official release moment on Patreon of this pack. It is by the Paint by Numbers Institute, which features Panthera, The Asylum, J-Leb, and Altihana, and artwork by Clocksmith. We are really looking forward to bringing this to you. And it's a bit easier than last month's The Hobbit, but it's a bit harder than the last time the Paint by Numbers Institute brought us something. So we're really looking forward to it. Every puzzle paints a picture. And you have to paint that picture. So really, I urge you to give it a go. And we are going to be solving an extra puzzle that didn't make the pack today, that's been prepared by the Asylum. What brilliant constructor. And you're probably going to have to help me at the end deducing what the picture is, because I'm so bad at that aspect of these things. We will do that in a minute, but Patreon is a great place to go, not just for this. We've obviously got solution videos if you're a $3 a month patron for the hunts of the past. We've got connections videos for everybody, crossword videos. If you join us on Patreon, you will get extra stuff and you will like some of it. Of course, you can also get our apps, which feature kropki Sudoku, Domino Sudoku. The latest is Fog of War Sudoku. That's good fun too. And you can also, of course, get our merchandise or Sven's Sudoku pad. There are links under the video for all of that. There's also a link for where to go for Patreon or Discord, where there will be a discussion about some of the puzzles on Patreon chat, and people will help if you get stuck. Now, or if you're struggling to interpret the rules, I will try and explain the rules of this puzzle carefully, and this will be your introduction to number sums. So pay attention. Okay, I mean, that's enough ado. Let's explain the rules of no petting by the Asylum. So, normal Sudoku rules apply. So within the 9x9 grid, there'll be 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Now, be careful, there are lying clues in this puzzle. However, the colours used in this puzzle are green, brown, and black. Now, that is going to require me to make a small change to my colour scheme. I keep forgetting how to do this. Let's try it this way. There we go. So I'm going to do brown. There's a nice brown colour. Or is it too dark? Can I get a lighter brown than that? Can we find one? Up the scale. That's orange. Okay, that's brown. Let's go with that. And black for this one, which isn't normally on my spectrum. Let's go with that sort of shade. There's a chance that I'll use another colour instead of black and then recolor black at the end for the picture. Anyway, that is just how to alter your palette. You hold down the mouse on the colour in your palette, and then you click on that and you can change. Right, first of all, the clues outside the grid with arrows point along a diagonal line of the grid. These are little killer clues. The number gives the sum of the cells in the diagonal pointed at. You can have repeats if they're allowed by Sudoku rules. Those 3 will add up to 15. Those 4 will add up to 12, unless those clues are lying. We'll come on to this. The black dots show 2 digits that have a 1 to 2 ratio, unless the clues are lying. We'll come on to that. Now, the number sum clues, these green, black, and brown clues outside the grid, they indicate the sum of all the cells in the row or column that are shaded the colour of the clue. So if we look down this row, there are cells with a value of 18 that are brown, cells with a value of 7 that are black. Now, the good news is that the clues outside the grid, the coloured clues outside the grid, are not lying, and we know that. And by the way, when you get to the actual PBN Institute pack, that will apply again in every puzzle. Those clues, those coloured clues outside the grid, are not liars. So there is something we can rely on in this world of fiction. Now, there are also little numbers in the grid, and they are the correct number if the cell they're in is coloured, is shaded one colour or another. But if it is not, then these numbers are wrong. So this will be a 4 if it is mentioned in the black or brown numbers in its column. It won't be a 4 if it isn't. It will be a different digit. So also, there are an equal number in this puzzle, and I think this is unique to the set. There is an equal number of truth tellers and liars for both the little killers and the kropki dots. So there are 2 kropki dots. One is telling the truth and one is lying. It looks like there are 14 little killer clues. 7 are telling the truth and 7 are lying. Now, the interesting thing there is that if a clue is telling the truth, all of its cells will be shaded one colour or another. If a clue is lying, oh no, in this puzzle, in some of the puzzles, if a clue is lying, all of its cells are unshaded. That doesn't always apply. And in this puzzle, it doesn't apply. In this puzzle, the rule is that all cells involved with a given clue, by which I mean either the arrow or the dot, all cells have to be shaded for that clue to be telling the truth. That's what the rule is. Okay, I understand these rules. I hope you do too. Read them through again if you don't. I've got my palette right. I'm going to restart the puzzle now. Let's get cracking and see how we go here. So, okay, let's start with the black cells because they're pretty easy. There's a 1. Well, no, maybe they're not. Okay, there's a black 2 in this column, but the only 2 rows where black can exist are that one and that one. Now, we couldn't have a black 1 here, as the row would mandate if this was black, because then we'd need another black 1 here. So that is not black, and the black in this column is here. It is there, it is at 2. Oh, that's okay. I can see through this black. That's all right. Now, this is going to have to be black because there's a 7 clue in this column and a maximum of 1 in that cell. So that is definitely black. One of these is black, and it could be a 1 there, or it could be a 1 there. If it was a 1 here, that's a 6, and that's a black 1. And I don't know the answer to that. So this digit is either 6 or 7. And the black 1 is either there or there. One of those is, well, and if it's there, then there's another black 1 there. So I don't know. We've got somewhere. Now, there's an 11 clue here. That could easily be telling the truth. 7, 1, 3. Okay, I'm going to think about green briefly. The only possible cells that are green are those in rows 6, 8, 9, where the green clues are, columns 1, 2, 3. So, I was going to say both of these are green. I don't know, well, yeah, these are both green because the maximum this can be for the row in green is 5. And that would still leave minimum 10 in green for those 2 cells. So they must both be green. Now this is not Japanese sums. They're not runs of colour. They're just the number of cells in the row. Now this has been stopped from being black. That is significant. That means this can't be black. Doesn't it? Yes, it does, because that would be the black 1. That would be a 6 to make the 7 work. That would be a 2, and that would be the black 1. So this is the black 1 in the column now. and this is now a 7, and black is all done. We're done with black. Okay, we've got these two green. There are puzzles in the pack where once you get green on a clue, you can, or a colour, you can colour the rest of the thing, but not here. Now, this, oh no, 16 might be a liar. Bother. Okay, sorry, I need to do some thinking. We've got to get to 10 in green in this guy. I don't know, it's not... I mean, okay, these cells remain potentially green, but they don't have to be green. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to say that this cell is not coloured. If it was coloured, it would be a genuine 2. It would have to be brown based on the clue for the row. But that would leave 2 more brown for the column, and either you'd be repeating a 2 or you'd be repeating a 1 twice. So that is not coloured. I'm going to use yellow for not coloured and then remove that at the end of the puzzle. Now this is a very gradual way of approaching if I'm going to find individual cells and rule them out. Right, I'm going to look at this row. This is better. 1 plus 44 in the coloured clues is 45. Now, a secret we sometimes share with you is that the sum of every row, column and box in a Sudoku is known to us before we begin. It's always 45. So keep that under your hat. But that means all of these are coloured because the clues in the colours are telling the truth. We can then fill in 5, 8, 7 and 3, which are given clues, and now they've got colour in, they must be right. Now, anything else adding up to 45, it really doesn't look like it. So let's look at this row, which adds up to 43. Now, 8 of the cells in this row must be coloured, I figure. And what does that mean? The cell that is not coloured is a 2. It's not sitting there, for instance, because there is a 2 there. So that is coloured, and it can't be green because this column doesn't have any green. So that's brown, and it's not a 2. I don't know how to progress. I don't know how we're going to work out these little killers. They seem pretty difficult to me. Let's think about what we can do rather than what we can't do. Now that is on the black dot, but I don't know. There's a 2 somewhere in the row that is lying. It could easily be in the cell with a 1 or the cell with a 3. No, I need to find something else going on. So in this column, actually, we've got 4 in brown. This cell cannot be 2 for the same reasons that couldn't be 2. The other brown would have to add up to 2. That is a 4, and that is the only brown cell in the column. So the rest of these that can't be green either are unshaded. And that is a lie. Oh, we knew that before, but anyway, we got the 4. So this is 6 or 9 by Sudoku. 2, 6 and 9 are the candidates here. Right, anything else going on that is obvious? We've got maximum 2 greens in these 3 cells. Now, if they were to be 2 greens, they couldn't involve 2, which we've worked out is the unshaded digit in this row. So they would have to involve 1 and 4. And then the browns in the row would involve 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know. Now there wasn't a rule about the lyingness of little killers, I don't think, no. If that is shaded, it's a 1, and it's brown because of the column. But it might not be. So what else have we got going on? It's quite difficult for me to see how we're meant to get this together. Okay, we've done black. Green. Do these two add up to 15? They certainly can, or they might require this cell. I don't know what's going on in this row. I'd like to, and I don't. Right, for this 12 clue to be telling the truth, yeah, the rule is that if a cell with a given clue is telling the truth, all of its digits are shaded. So for that to be telling the truth, all of these would be shaded. I was going to say 4, 4, and 3 is too many. It's not. 4, 1, 4, 3 is how that would pan out. Oh, bother. Thought I'd identified at least one clue that was that was workable. Okay, if this was shaded, I mean, this is a very hard way to go about it, picking off individual clues that can't be shaded. But I don't even know if this is going to work. 12, 19, 21, that would be a 3. That's fine. Okay, no good there. Okay, so in the top row, we only have 3 brown shaded. Right, that's not... In fact, all of these rows, all of these cells are not shaded because they have brown in their rows as clues and only green and black in their column. So, I still don't know whether those 3 add up to 15 or just those 2 in this column. I do know that this can't be brown, and yet we've got brown's worth of 38. In fact, that can't be brown either because we've had the 4 in that column. So the maximum brown in this row is those 7 cells. And the 38 brown is either achieved in those 7 with a green 5 and an uncoloured 2 here, or it's 6 of these are brown, 7, 6 of these are brown 38, and then we could have 2 green cells which were a 1 and a 4 and an uncoloured 2 somewhere. I just don't know the answer. Okay, for this cell to be telling, this diagonal to be telling the truth, these 2 would add up to 11. I cannot falsify that. This one can't be the whole of the 6 because we've in green, because we've only got 5 green in the row. It also, well, there's another reason this couldn't be 5 green, because it would be shaded, and that's also shaded, but you can't have a black dot with 5 on, well, it can't be 5 by Sudoku. Oh. Does that mean that there is 5 in green in these cells? Is it a single 5 there? Or is it a single 5 there or a 1-4 pair? I just don't know. I do. Do I? No. I was going to say if 1 and 4 are shaded here, that 1 is not shaded because you can't have another 1 being genuine in the row. But then that would be the location of the lying of the 2 that wasn't shaded. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to get your head around this. Sorry. I'm going to take my time now because I've got no alternative. 15 and 4. 15 green, 4. We've done in this row 20, 25 is the total of coloured cells. We've got at least 2 cells to make up 11. If all of these 3 cells made up 11, that is not possible. What I'm saying is if these were all 3 green, which is possible given the column colouring and the row colouring, if all of those 3 were green, they'd have to have a 1 or a 2 in. They don't have a 1 in the box and they don't have a 2 in the row. So they're not all green. The 11 in green is made up of 2 cells. That one and one of these is green. Now that's quite interesting. The 15 green here, if that was 3 cells, what would they be if they weren't? They're going to have 2 and 7 in by Sudoku. 2 and 7 are in those. 9, 2, 6, well, okay, the green 15 here is either 2, 7, 6, all 3 green, or 7 and 8 only. So we're selecting from 2, 7, 8 and 6. 3 and 9 are definitely in this row. 9 is not green because the other green would have to be a 2, and we've had 2. So 9 is not green, that's not 9. Green is either 3 and 8, and that's what it is. Green is 3 and 8. That is 3 or 8 there. And therefore 8 is not in this row. This is a 2, 6, 7 row. That adds up to 15. They're all green. This was quite complicated. This is 3, 8, 9, and the 3 and the 8 are green. The 9 is it uncoloured? Yes, it can't be brown in this row. Good. Now, in this column, could that be 15? Yes, 8 and 7, and that wouldn't need to be coloured. There's a coloured 3 or 8 in one of these cells. Well, look in this one. If that was a coloured 3, a green 3, that's a green 2, and that has to be a green 1 then. That is possible. Otherwise, this is a green 6, and that's an uncoloured 8. No, 9. 9 is the uncoloured digit. Oh, goodness. It's still possible for that to be coloured, but it would have to be 3 for this 5 clue, which would then be... Okay, if this was coloured, does the 16 work? Yes, it would have to be 1, 7, 8. Oh, this is getting confusing now. So one of those, 16 or 5, is right, I think, and the other one probably isn't. Oh, goodness. 4, 2, 2, 7 there. Or 4, 6, 2, that would be a 5, yeah. Okay, coloured green in this column is 10. That could be a 5 with a 2 and a 3 down there. But even the 1, 4 still works if it's 1 here and 4 here. I can't quite work out what's going on with the green. Right, we had 2, 6, 7 there. Or 3, 8, 9, 2, 7 here. Which one of these is useful? In these cells, we have 1, 4, 5, and 6 in the row. And of those, 5, either 1 and 4 or a single 5 are brown. In this row, it's either a single 4 or a 1 and a 3. I just don't know. But there are ways to progress. It's just spotting them. That's what's hard here. Right. In this column, I'm sticking around here because I don't quite know how to progress elsewhere. Maybe either that 5 is right because that's coloured, or this 16 is right because that's coloured. If the 16 is right, as only 8 and 3 are coloured, that goes 1, 7, 8. If the 5 is right, that goes 2, 3. So either this is a 3 in which case this goes 8, 3, 9. Or this is an 8, in which case this goes 3, 9, 8. Sorry, I'm just going to work out what I've just said there. 3, 9, 8 in the case of the 16 being right. In the case of the 5 being right, that's 3, that's 8, that's 9. So this can never be a 3, and this can never be an 8. That's what I've finally worked out there. Couldn't do it in my head. Numpty. Now, let's think about this being 2 and 3. And genuine. If this is green, that's what's happening in this 5 clue. 2 and 3. Now, that has to go green. And 5 is the maximum. This would be a 5. This clue would now have to be genuine, and that would be a 6. Ah, that works. But this would be a 7 again, just as it would be if that was green. I think this is always a 7. If this clue works, it's 2 and 3. That gives you 8 and 5. That gives you 6 here, and that's always a 7. I mean, that is quite complicated, but I have worked out this is always a 7. Now, in this column, either that's a green 3 or that's a green 3. That is not possible to be a green 3, because in this row, the 2 won't be green, because the 2 is uncoloured. So that is the green 3 in column 2. And now this is a 2, and the 5 clue is genuine. This is unshaded, and the 16 clue is fake. And now it's not allowed to add up to the right number, which is good, because it doesn't. It adds up to 17. That's a 6. And now we've got some digits in the grid. Now, 10 is done. That's yellow. 10 plus 5, that's green. This is not green, but I don't know if it's brown, so I'm not colouring it yet. But I've done all the greens as well as the blacks now. I didn't find it easy. Now, that 5 contributes towards 12 of brown in this column. Oh, this, yeah, that's how we got here. So we've got 2 clues that are correct on the left here, and 1 liar, which is the 16 one. It's going to be very hard to keep a track on those as we go round. I might have to come up with a nomenclature system. So it's all about browns and uncoloured for the rest of the grid. And I mean, I see things like 2 6s in that row. One of them is genuine and one of them is, well, maybe neither are genuine. Certainly at least one of them is fake. Sorry, I need to just get some thinking done about how we're going to find the other stuff in this puzzle. I haven't really used the numbers in cells much. One of those is a 2. One of these is an 8, and it's not coloured. I don't know, this is hard. 8, 1, 2, 5, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9. Wow. That would, I mean, I'd love to find a bunch of little killer clues that can't be right, but it's going to be very hard to do. I mean, I've already got some experience of how hard it is to find little killer clues in this that are right or wrong. And that was where we had some green help. My goodness, this is tough. Right. What can I even find to look at? If the 11 clue is right, that is a brown 1. Or we've got brown 4 and brown 5 to go in these last 2 rows. Oh, we've got brown oh yes, the uncoloured clue in this row was going to be a 2. Oh, and and we've done the 5 green, so everything else is brown 38. Right. Oh, that's the wrong shade. There we go. Everything else, and this is now a genuine clue. And these are genuine digits, 1 and 3. What is on here? It's got to be a 4-8 pair if 1, 2, 3 are not on that black dot. And this is a lying black dot, so at least one of the cells is unshaded. Maybe not surprising given only the total of 9 in this row. Right, now, at least that, sorry, that was very obvious and I just wasn't seeing it, that too. But this is how this kind of puzzle works. You just have to work your way through it. Now, what else has that given us? We've got, not necessarily, I don't know. Oh, look at the down clues. 12 here, that can't be an 8. There we go, that's a 4. That's an 8. 12 brown down here would be exceeded by a brown 8 there. So now we've got brown 8 here. Oh, that could be a 9 as long as there's a brown 1. We've still got a brown 3 or a 1 and a 2 to come in this column. We've got either 1 or 4 in brown to come in this column after we fill that cell. And then all the numbers get very middly in terms of what's left to put in things. We've got a 1 there, so that's not a 1. My goodness, I don't know where we're going next. 8, 7, 5, 8. That's already 28. If the whole of this clue was coloured, wow, well, it can't be. I mean, it's not easy to do, but it's true. Because we're already on 28 in this diagonal. Those would have to add up to 9. And although we could postulate 1, 2, 3 there, we can't say 1, 2 there because of that. So this 37 clue is a liar. Just as the 16 clue was. And now we've got 2 of each. I mean, it's so little information, I don't even know why I'm saying it, but it is true. There's a 3 in one of those cells by Sudoku, given these 3s. $36 in this column, so only 9 of lying. 21 in both of these rows, 17, 9, and 3. 3 is very little. This can't be a genuine clue. Maximum 3 in row 1, maximum 9 there. But if that was coloured cell, it's a 2. So you'd have a maximum of 14 in that, on that clue. So the 15 clue is a liar. How am I going to mark which are liars? Oh, with, yes, I do know. With the pen tool, I use a lying colour. What is a lying colour? Let's go green as a lying colour. So that's a lying clue. That's a lying clue. And now that's a lying clue. I can't see that green. Okay, let's do red for lying clues instead. Maybe I'll be able to see that there. Yes, good. Right, red for liars and blue for truthers. That 17 is telling the truth and that 5. Okay, I mean, this might be worth doing. It's very hard to know. 3 liars found already, 4 to go. If this was telling the truth, what did we say it was going to be? 2, 7, 3, 5, 4. They're all known. 12, 14, 21. That would be a 3. That seems all too plausible. If that's telling the truth, it's got a 1 in the middle. Very plausible. For this to be telling the truth, that would be 6. There's too much optionality in the rest of it to even calculate. For this to be telling the truth, it goes 5, 3. This one would go 4, 1, 4, 3. They can't both be telling the truth, or we'd have 2 3s in row 1, and we couldn't even have that. So maximum 1 of the 8 and the 12 are telling the truth. Is this really how we're going to have to do this? If this was the minimum 6, and this clue was trying to tell the truth, we'd already be up to 19. We would bust that there. So the 22 is a definite liar already. So now we've found 4 liars. If I can find 3 more, then I know everything else is telling the truth, and I can shade all the cells involved. That would be huge. And I'm a long way away from finding 3 more liars. So this 24, I was looking at a moment ago, I said there was too much optionality, and I mean, I still think that's the case. This, to be telling the truth, that would be a 5, and that would be a 3. And that 3 would satisfy the top row. That 5 would leave 4 to go in row 2. 16 to go in the column. There's no easy way of doing columns that involve huge numbers between 18 and 36, which is all of the remaining ones. It's just this one needs a 3. Right, that's not there. This cell has to be yellow, because if it was telling the truth, it would be a brown 6, and that would bust the column and the row. That also has to be yellow. Oh, I see. That has to be yellow because it's bigger than 3. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, that was a strange moment. I got up suddenly to deal with a cough. The blood raced away from my head and I nearly fainted. So I need to get the blood back into the brain. Now, this was very straightforward, and it's taken me ages to see it. This 4 is yellow because of the top row. It can't be a genuine shaded cell, or the 3 would be broken. But it's on this diagonal, and therefore this diagonal is not all shaded. Therefore that 23 is lying. That's not what I'm trying to do. Sorry, I'm trying to give me the lying colour. So we've now found 5 of the lying diagonals. It's annoying how easy that was to do and how it probably doesn't replicate into any other column. So, any other row or column or anything. That's irritating. Now, for these to be all shaded, that is the 3 in the top row. That's a 4, that's a 4, this is a 1. Are there any problems with that? I think we've said, and I'd forgotten already, that one of those 12 or 8 at least is a lie. And that is the 6th liar. So I just need to find one other liar from one of these two 24s maybe. If I can say that one of these two 24s is lying, and maybe I need to consider them together, if they were both telling the truth, this would go 2, 3, 7, 3, 5, 4. And this other one would definitely go 6, 7 or 9, 2, 6 or 9. These would have to add to 18. This by Sudoku is 3, 4, 5 or 9. These would have to add to 18. I mean, it looks very doable to me. That's the trouble. Even if this is already... well, if this was 2, 3, 7, 3, 5, 4, this couldn't be a 3. I mean, I still think this can add to 18 without any real difficulty. Although, that would be a 6, so this would be 7 or 9. These would have to add to 9 or 11. And we're not allowed a 3. 9 or 11. Well, that can't be a 9 anymore. 641 will do it. I mean, there are ways of doing that. There aren't as many as I thought. I wonder if that's actually what I meant to do, to rule out the possibility of both of these adding to 24, and thus say one of them is a liar. I mean, it does feel like I'm getting quite close to the truth here, which is very surprising. Now, an alternative way of looking at this is, even if they're both telling the truth, do I need one of 12 or 8 to be telling the truth? I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm struggling. I mean, I'm getting just a dim sense of how this can be completed, but it's not easy. Keep looking back at other... Oh, this 39. I haven't worked that one out, have I? Could that be telling the truth? Oh, this is going to be obvious, isn't it? Maybe. 14, 23, 27. These two would have to add up to 12 and be telling the truth. Well, that would have to be 3, which is the maximum in the top row. And that would have to be 9. You'd then have 9s in both of those positions. This would have to go 2, 4, 4, 4, 9, 9, 4, 3 to be telling the truth. It's something broken about that. It's quite interesting. I can't see it. I haven't analysed that 39 enough. I tell you what I haven't done is I haven't made a mark on this one. This is probably... Oh, right. This would go 3, 6, and these would be 6, 8, and 5. They'd all be given by the numbers. 14, 28. We'd need 21 out of these other 3 cells. We can have repeats, remember, though. So... But this is never going to be a 1 in that circumstance. So either the 49 is lying or this 12 is lying. One of those two is a liar. I mean, I know earlier I said either the 12 or the 8 is a liar. Now I know either the 49 or the 12 is a liar. Oh, and I see. Maybe if this one had to go 9, 4, 3, does that... That would also make the 12 a liar because it wouldn't allow 3 to be there. So if 12 was telling the truth, 8 would be a liar, because that couldn't be a 3. 39 would be a liar for actually the same reason in the same cell. And 49 would be a liar because that would be a 1. So, and that would be too many liars. That would be 8 liars. So 12 is a liar because it can't be telling the truth. My gosh, that's hard to get to grips with. But now we have found 6 of the liars. I feel like the 7th is one of the 24s, but... Oh, well, this is a lying... No, it's not necessarily a lying cell. It could be a truthful cell in a lying diagonal. That's irritating. Well... I tell you what, the 8 can't be lying because one of these cells would be unshaded. And that would make either the 39 a liar or the 37 a liar, and we've only got one liar to find. So the 8 is telling the truth. Those are both shaded. That's a 5, and that's a 3. And that is the only shaded cell in the top row, that 3. Goodness, that was quite tough to find. And I mean, we're nowhere near finished now. We need 4 more shaded in this row, either a single 4 or a 1 and a 3. 12's a liar, we know that. We still don't know what the last liar is. The fact that I suspect both 24s doesn't make that correct. Really doesn't. This can't be a 5 anymore. I mean, that's just boring candidate marking. We've got 21 in this column of brown. I mean, I hope if we can keep going like this, there will come a tipping point where we can just start filling in the browns and the numbers, but we're nowhere near that yet. So there is a lying cell in the 15, there is one in the 12, there is one in the 23, there is one in the 22. So I don't need to worry about that. I need to find one more liar. Ah, it's these two adding up to 4 brown. Is that the problem? Yes, it is. There it is. Oh, goodness, it's so obvious now. If this 24 was telling the truth, that has to be a 3. I've done that addition several times. If that 24 was telling the truth, this is a brown cell, but it's more than 3. And now this brown clue of 4 is broken. So one of the 24s is a liar. Now that means everything else is telling the truth. We already know that 8 was telling the truth. Sorry, I'm trying to do this properly. That 8 was telling the truth. Now we know that one of the 24s is the last liar. So this 49 is telling the truth. This 39 is telling the truth. This 11 is telling the truth. Now I can shade cells in those regions. That one is brown. Everything up this diagonal is brown. Everything up the 49 diagonal is brown. And now I can do some of the numbers. 6 and 8. Let's just fill in the numbers which have got subscript numbers that we know are right. That's a 1. That 11 has worked. So in this one we've got 10, 14, 18, 21, 30. That's a 9. Just checking my maths. Oh, in this one it's a bit less sure. That can't be. Oh, that's become a 7 by Sudoku. So 3, 9, 16, 22, 35 plus 14, either 6 and 8 or 9 and 5. So that has to be 6 and 8. Now the 17 in this row has been done in brown. The 9 in this row has been done in brown. This is my tipping point where I thought it might get easier. How about this column? 23, it's all done in brown, so everything else is yellow. And now this 24 is the liar. I don't know why that cell's blue. That wasn't what I was trying to do at any point. This is the liar, so it's got a red line because there's a yellow cell in it. Therefore, this is the truth-telling 24, and that and those are both brown. I think we'll be able to fill in the puzzle now. 4 and 5, and I haven't found this easy. 19, 21, that's a 3. Yeah, I worked that out a few times. Okay, that can't be 3. Now, let's keep adding up columns. Ooh, 27 there. We need 3 more, but we've already used 3. So we're going to have a brown 1 and a brown 2, like so. What have we got in this column? We've got 18 of brown. That's all we need. In this column, we're going to need 3 more. I'll come back to that. What about this column? 12, 15. We need a 2 and a 1. That must be the 2. This can't be the 1 because there's a 1 there already. That must be it. This column, no, let's do this one first. 5, 12. We need 9 more. Oh, I don't know. Okay. Let's do some Sudoku instead. 6 and 9 there. That is a 9. Right. So this column, 10, 15, 18, 26. We need 10 more. That's become a 6 by Sudoku. Now we need 4 more. It can't be there. It can't be 1 and 3. It must be 4 brown there. That one's yellow. This row now. Oh no, this row, 17, 21. That's all done. That's yellow. This row, 18 done already. We need a single 3. It can't be there. It must be here, and that completes column 3 as well, I remember. Right, this column, 9, 18, 21, that's all done, and the colouring is complete. Now, all the brown cells are actually filled in as well. So now it's Sudoku with the one little tip that I must make sure that the diagonals don't add up to the numbers given for the red diagonal markings, and that none of the individual cells with superscripts get their number in. So that's probably, oh look, this is a naked 6 to start off. That is not allowed to be a 4 by that rule, so I am using that. I didn't know if I would use it at all, but I've already used it. 2 and 7 in those cells. Don't know which way around that pans out. This one is 7 in the row, so that's 2 and that's 7. Now I know that. 5, 6 and 9. This one sees 5 and 9. That one sees 5. 5 there. 5 there, which I mispencil marked a moment ago. That doesn't matter. 8 and 6. 2 and 1. Now I can use the rule again. That's not allowed to be 2. And that's 2. And certainly this diagonal adds up to the wrong number, which is good to know. The 12 one already does. The 23 one, 15, 20, that's not allowed to be a 3. It's quite interesting. It means the 3 in the box is in one of those cells. So I am using the doppy diagonal. 17, 22, 28, 37. That's already well bust. This one must have failed already. Yeah, and I think that's all I needed to prove. Right, anyway, back to Sudoku. 9 and 8 here, they are doable straight away. 1, 6, 7 here, they're not, but that mustn't be 6, that mustn't be 7, that mustn't be 1. 5 and 3 can be written in. That would have proved that 3 was over there without doing my diagonal stuff. 8 and 2, 8, 2, 9, 6, 5, 4. 1, 7 and 3 to go in here. Ah, I've got to make sure the black dot is wrong, haven't I? Ah, that's interesting. So this can't be a 3. There we go. That is a useful bit. And I probably couldn't have finished without doing that. I just thought this cell was unfillable. But it's a 7. It's okay. It is fillable, which is a relief. 5 and 2 there. 1, 4, 6 at the top has to go 4, 6, 1. 3, 8, 9 in this row goes 8, 9, 3. And that is the solution. No, hang on. Let me first of all start, not doing that. Getting rid of the lines, which we don't need anymore. I want to examine the colors now. The picture that I'm forming, which I'm really not looking at because I'm looking at these individual cells. You can be looking at the picture, working out what you think it is. The title of the puzzle is No Petting. I'm going to get rid of all the yellow because that's meant to be uncoloured. And then I'm going to write in a 3. And petting a porcupine is delicate work. Well, they very kindly told us what this is. And I was thinking about a dinosaur, if I'm honest. So I'm glad to know it's a porcupine. And that's what we came up with. That's a lovely puzzle. I mean, it's quite hard to get going with those numbers of little killer clues. Brilliant stuff, though. Well done to the asylum, and you will enjoy the pack. I think that's as hard as any puzzle in it, I suspect. In fact, I think that's what I've been told. But give it a go. It's brilliant. See you soon. Bye for now.